तेरी वो रफ्तार हो रोके से भी तू ना रुके, हासिल कर ऐसा शिखर पर्वत की भी नजरें उठे। आशाएं उम्मीदें अब मुश्किल नहीं कुछ भी। यही रास्ता है तेरा, तूने अब जाना है। हाँ यही सपना है तेरा, तूने पहचाना है। तुझे अब ये दिखाना है। तुझको आंधिया क्या जमीन और आसमां पाएगा, जो लक्ष्य है तेरा लक्ष्य को हर हाल में पाना हिम्मत से जो कोई चले, धरती हिले कदमों तले। क्या दूरियां क्या फासले, मंजिल लगे आगे गले। हिम्मत से जो कोई चले, धरती हिले कदमों तले। तू चल यूं ही अब सुबह शाम, रुकना झुकना नहीं तेरा काम। तू चल यूं ही अब सुबह शाम, रुकना झुकना नहीं तेरा काम। आएगा जो लक्ष्य है तेरा लक्ष्य को हर हाल में पाना है।
गिर गया तो क्या हुआ, गिरता वो ही जो चलता है। बस इतना सा करना है कि उठकर फिर से चलना है।
Welcome everyone to the most anticipated event, Prep Up UPSC, an interactive session with our two illustrious alumni who will share their life experiences and indispensable tips and plan of action to crack one of the most coveted and competitive exams of this country, the Union Public Service Commission's Civil Services Examination. We have with us Ms. Simi Karan and Ms. Ashima Mittal. Triumphing over 800,000 candidates in a grueling ordeal, making us proud, they are here to share their experiences that enable them to have an edge over other aspirants in this exam. The first speaker present with us is Ms. Ashima Mittal. She achieved a remarkable AIR 12 in the Civil Services Examination UPSC 2017. She has done her BTech in Civil Engineering from the class of 2014. She was the overall coordinator of the Student Technical Activity Body, now known as ITC, and it was during her tenure that the Tinkerers Lab was set up. Also, she has represented IIT Bombay at Inter-IIT in basketball and was the manager of Robotics Club in her third year. She was awarded the Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma Gold Medal for Outstanding Performance and General Proficiency in 2014. Before starting her career as an IS officer, she also worked for an year in the Indian Revenue Service's income tax. During her training, she was awarded the Gold Medal for Law Assignments at Labasna, which is the training academy for IS officers. She has completed her 2 years training in Indian Administrative Services and is posted as Assistant Collector in Ahmednagar district of Maharashtra. Our second speaker for today is Ms. Simi Karan, a BTech graduate in Electrical Engineering, class of 2019. She has made us all proud by achieving an AIR 31 in the UPSC CSE 2019. She led the Kho team of IIT Bombay as a captain to victory at Utkosh, the annual sports meet of IIT Kanpur in 2018, and was also a gold medal winner in Avahan 2018. A meritorious student from the very beginning, she was the state topper of Chhattisgarh in the 12th CPSC boards and has been bestowed with many prestigious scholarships, such as the Desai Sethi Scholarship by IIT Bombay alumni and also the Kaggle Global Scholarship. She was also a member of the Group for Rural Activities and Abhyasika at IIT Bombay and is now set to begin her training period in Labasna in the coming month of September. I would like to congratulate both our dignitaries and thank them for agreeing to conduct this session to guide the UPSC aspirants. It's time to prep up UPSC. So over to you, Priyam.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. I hope you get something useful out of this event. We have had a huge response from all of you, and we have tried to cater to most of your doubts. Nevertheless, we'll be having a Q&A session at the end where you can ask your remaining doubts. So let's begin. Simi and Ashima, both of you have a different and inspiring journey. Tell us something about yourself. Why and when did you choose to pursue the civil services exam? Ashima? Am I audible? So, Simi and Ashima, both of you have a very different and inspiring journey. Tell us something about yourself. Why and when did you choose to pursue the civil services exam? Ashima?
So I thought of civil services long back when as a child, when I was in school around in the sixth standard. I remember I used to read the interviews of the topper of civil services. At that time, this idea came to my mind that maybe one day I can also become an IAS officer. But going forward, when new avenues opened, when I came to IIT Bombay, I deemed it more fit to explore what opportunities IIT Bombay is offering. And at that time, I decided to go for a job and to also take up some leadership positions like stab overall coordinator, robotics manager, etc. at IIT Bombay, to be able to explore this area of administration to some extent, although it may be a very small part. And then going forward, after doing my job, I realized that what will actually give me happiness in my life is administration or and working for the civil services. Although it may seem cliche to say this, but I am extremely satisfied with the work that we do in the field. And since the time I've joined civil services, I have been satisfied with the work that I'm able to do. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. So, coming to you, Simi, being from the technical background, what really made you choose the civil services exam? What was your motivation behind it?
Mute. Simi, you are on mute.
Sorry. Am I audible?
Yes.
So I describe my journey as an unconventional journey. I come from a very small town, not a very small town, a small town called Bhilai in Chhattisgarh. Post 12th, I was very clear with my rank that I was going to go to IIT Bombay no matter which branch I was getting. So I joined in the 4-year mechanical engineering degree at IIT Bombay. After my first year, I was able to upgrade myself to electrical engineering based on my CPI. I think the 4 years at IIT Bombay have been my inspiration for joining UPSC. For a lot of aspirants, it's usually a childhood dream. For me, it was not the case. The realization came pretty late. Here at IIT Bombay, after the second year, I was a part of the Vision India Foundation public policy boot camp, where for the first time I was hearing an IS officer speak on the stage, and the kind of opportunities, the kind of field experience that he described, I think that sort of was my trigger point, so to say. Moving ahead, I was a part of the student initiative, which is Abhyashika, which teaches underprivileged children here at IIT. By learning about their experiences, the kind of challenges they have faced in their lives, I realized that we have a lot of differences in the very starting point that we face. And that's probably what pushed me towards joining a field where I may not just touch a few lives, but a lot of different lives. But apart from that, I've explored a lot of other avenues till like in my third year. After my third year, I went to Sysmex Japan for my internship. But post that, I was very clear that a 9 to 5 desk job is not for me, and I decided not to go into the technical field. Finally, in my final year, I decided to opt out of the placement process and fully prepare for the civil services. So I could so to say I was very clear only in my final year that I wanted to do UPSC. Thank you.
So, Simi, as you said, you started preparing in the college itself. So, how was you able to manage the so-called heavy course load of electrical department? And was there any backup career option?
Right. So a lot of students, I remember when I was changing my branch in my second year, a lot of them said कि branch change करने के बाद तो CPI गिर जाती है, तो तू देख ले manage कैसे होगा. But I think I pretty much maintained a very good CPI and actually improved it after coming to electrical engineering. Some of the things that a lot of students do here at IIT is I completed a lot of my courses earlier. So my final semester was relatively relaxed. I had just like 2 or 3 courses which were just electives. Another thing that I did was in my final year, in my 8th semester, I decided not to continue with the second half of the BTech project.
So because of that, I had a lot of free time as well. Another thing, I think I worked a lot on my building my background initially rather than diving right into the preparation. So I have a strong economics background from 11th and 12th. I have a minor in humanities and social sciences here at IIT Bombay. Also, I read a lot of books, a lot of non-fiction books. So I think that sort of helped me manage my preparation with the electrical so-called load. Coming to backup, I think I had considered CAT or probably government consulting if this does not work out, but I was not very solid at the first attempt itself. Thank you.
Greatly put, Simi. Ashima, you had a corporate job and then you left it, which was a great risk in itself. Did you have any backup in your mind?
No, I did not have any backup in my mind as such. I thought because we have already a good background, we are from IIT Bombay, and definitely if the need comes anytime, I will be able to find a decent job for myself. And I was somewhere in my heart, I had this feeling that if I give my 100%, then there is no reason that I will not make it. It is a possibility that maybe due to some reason, some problem, I'm not able to clear it in the very first attempt, but definitely why not in the second and third attempt? I at least wanted to give in the beginning when I thought at least for 2 attempts I should give it a try. And in 2 attempts, if I'm not able to clear it, then maybe there's some problem with my dedication or with my preparation. But I never felt it was very important to have a backup. Having said this, I also want to tell all the viewers right now that having a backup adds to the confidence of preparation at times. At times one is not able to take a lot of risks that depends on the background, family condition, a lot of factors. So one has to choose to keep a backup or to not keep a backup depending on so many different factors that may exist.
Rightly said, Ashima. It is all about giving your 100% towards any of the domains. And going forward, many people are not sure whether UPSC is for them or not. Ashima, it has been 3 years since you have been in civil services and were posted in Ahmednagar. So, students would be pleased to know about your life in services and training. How is your work life and what do you like the most about it?
Okay, so because there are a lot of questions in this, maybe I'll take it part by stages. So you asked about training. So let me tell you about the training first. The training in civil services for IS officers happen in LBS NAA Academy, which is in Missouri, and you already saw a video in the beginning. So in this training, we are made to do different activities where we are made to challenge our individual limits. Like we are made to trek for 10 days. It is called a Himalayan trek. Like we are made to go around India, travel around India for 45 days. So such kind of exposure and experience is very unique. And while doing all these activities, what we learn is how to work in as a team, how to collaboratively work with each other, because in administration it is all about teamwork. Without teamwork we definitely cannot execute anything. So during this training, it helped me understand a lot of things which helped me in the field. Now, when I joined my district, which is Ahmednagar in Maharashtra, and when I joined the district, there were so many things to learn. I have worked at at various capacities. For example, I will have worked as a city. So a city developer is head by a municipal commissioner, but in the beginning, it is called the chief officer. So I worked as chief officer to develop a city in Ahmednagar. Then I worked as block development officer to develop a block in the district. Then I worked as tehsildar in Ahmednagar, wherein we look at the law and order and revenue situation of a block in a district. And finally, I have worked as a SDM in Ahmednagar. So COVID also came in this time. So a lot of challenges were there to see in the district. Also, you asked me about some experiences. So I would like to highlight some of the experiences here. One of the experience was that when I was the BDO in Ahmednagar, there was a regional water supply scheme, and this scheme had arrears of 6 crores pending. And because of this, the scheme was in trouble. It was about to shut down maybe in the coming years. And this scheme is very important to supply water to the farmers and to the rural areas. So what we did, we made a very logical plan, and how making this plan itself was a learning. And finally, in 1.5 months we could collect revenues of about 90 lakhs, uh, and also we could split the 6 crore arrears into two parts, and accountability was fixed on different persons. So all these steps helped us in reducing the final 6 crores to only 2 crores. So such things actually, such initiatives, such things in the field has only motivated me further to work for the society and to basically achieve the purpose of joining this service.
That was indeed a very informative answer, Ashima. So now related to the examination itself, Simi, would you now tell us a little about examination and its pattern?
Sure. So, UPSC conducts several exams. One of them is the Civil Services Examination, which selects the topmost officers of this country. So, these services are usually non-technical in nature, and people from various different backgrounds, most backgrounds with just a graduate degree can apply for the exam. So, it's almost an year-long exam with three stages. The first is the prelim stage, where you have MCQ questions, multiple choice questions, and you have to qualify a minimum level, which is the cutoff marks, to go to the next stage. The next stage is the mains exam, where you have several question papers where you have to write long answers. These are subjective answers that you have to properly write. There are four general studies papers and one essay paper, which is common for all. Apart from that, there are two language papers, English, and the other will be a regional language, whichever you choose, or Hindi, whichever is your medium. Apart from that, you have an optional paper for which you have like 500 marks. There are two papers of the optional, so that will be based on whatever you choose. So all of these count to your final score, and based on another cutoff, which comes after the mains exam, you qualify for the interview. At the interview stage, this is a 30 to 45 minutes interview which happens at UPSC Delhi, with a 5-member panel. You will get marks for that. That is of 250 marks. The mains is of 1750 marks, and this is the interview plus the mains interview plus the mains marks added together will give you the final list. Or based on the final marks, you get a rank. So that is the process.
I hope that proves beneficial for the students. So, Simi, there are many people joining us today that will be beginning their preparation from now. And so, what are your suggestions for someone who wants to start their preparation from scratch? And can you throw some light on your preparation strategy?
Sure. So, first thing that any candidate must do is to go through the syllabus and the previous year questions. This is an exam with a huge syllabus, and if you just look at it from an outside perspective, it will look like a mountain. But that mountain has to be broken down into smaller hills, and that happens with when you thoroughly read the syllabus and the previous year questions. Moving forward to my strategy, I think a lot of my strategy was filtered by the time constraint. So, whatever tips that I give will probably be from that perspective. But you can also look at a longer strategy that might be of 2 or 3 years. So, one thing I always believe in, which is very important for this exam, is smart work. Hard work is very important, but if you need to break down this huge mountain, you should be able to do smart work. Smart work. And what do I mean by that? That basically means that you should be able to eliminate what you don't need to study. Because there is so much to study, you can probably just go too much in depth in one particular field, and that will be of no use. So I always kept my sources very limited. One basic source, and all the other material was simply to supplement that source. Another thing that you need to develop early on is a habit of newspaper reading, be it in the e-paper mode or the physical hard copy. But I think newspaper reading not only gives you the knowledge but also builds a perspective and the personality of yours. Another thing that is especially important for IIT students is that it is not an overnight study preparation. You cannot just, sit for 3 to 4 hours of study one night before and crack the exam. This is a marathon which requires a consistent long term preparation, and you should approach with that perspective that you will have to have a lot of hours in the preparation without getting tired. So that should be your attitude. Another thing, right before starting the preparation, should be to come up with a plan. And with a plan, I mean that you should have your monthly targets. You should have a broad overview of the amount of time required for each subject, the monthly, sometimes weekly. I used to go to the extent of setting the daily and the hourly targets. What that helped me achieve was not to focus on perfection but rather completion. I also believe that an intelligent person learns from others' mistakes. So do try to take the help of your seniors, toppers, etc., and try to learn from their mistakes so that you can do it in one go. And I think a mixture of all of this helped me in my strategy, and this is what I would suggest to the others.
Rightly said, Simi. It is not a one day exam or so. It is like a marathon, and you'll have to be well prepared to give this examination. And other thing you point out, uh, you should you should take guidance from seniors and learn from others' mistakes as well. So, going forward, there is a lot of confusion on this topic. So, Ashima, uh, did you opt for online resources or traditional coaching classes or self study? Is it really important to join any coaching classes?
Joining a coaching or not is a matter of choice and comfort. Our aim is to clear the exam in the minimum time possible, and that is the end goal that we are achieving. Now, the means will depend on our comfort zone and options that we are having and resources we are having. So, in my case, I was completely new to economics. Like Simi said, that she had some background in 11th and 12th. For me, I was completely into science in my 11th and 12th, and I had no background in any of the subjects. So for me, it was more comfortable to have some sort of a training in the beginning so that I know how to prepare in the future. So what I did, I took a 6 months course in Delhi, and I lived in Delhi for 6 months, and after leaving my job, and after that 6 months course, I knew that I am now prepared and I can do it on my own. And then I came back to my hometown, Jaipur, and then I've given all the other things or prepared everything else from my home. So I think it's a personal choice. Also, test series I would say is very important. One should not just keep writing on their own and without any check. There has to be some check on what we are writing, some guidance, some feedback, and for that I have joined test series in Jaipur itself, in my hometown. So I think this is very important role a coaching can play in aspirant's life.
What is your take on this, Simi?
Um,
Would you like to elaborate on this?
Right. So I think Ashima ma'am has said it very correctly that this is a personal choice and it should depend on your requirements. So even when you go for a coaching, you must understand what your requirements are. And for that, you should have a basic preliminary knowledge of what the syllabus contains, etc. And based on your requirement, you go for the coaching. Another thing, I prepared for prelims all by myself because I was in the college at that time. So I think the basic books, the current affairs material, and the monthly magazines that are available helped me a lot. But moving ahead, I did take guidance in Delhi during my mains and interview stage. So some things that should be kept in mind while going for coaching is try and take an honest feedback from people who study at you to properly understand how well the coaching is. Another thing that you need to do is it's not just enough that you read the material and you will get qualified. You need to be creative about it. What I mean by that is, um, first of all, you need to revise your material very well. Second is try and interlink the subjects. So even if we go to coaching or we do not, what happens is we try to prepare in silos. That should not become your case. You should try and interlink the subjects as much as possible. So that's it.
I would like to add something here. So apart from the coaching or any of the material that we are referring at present, the online resources are there in abundance. And if you are not able to, if you are not in tune with what is there online, then we may miss out on a lot of things which the other aspirants are doing. So it is also important to stay in touch with the online websites, because they are actually doing a lot of hard work for the aspirants and giving things which are very easily available for the aspirants to learn from. So I think one should also try to see the online resources. I would like to give one example here. The current affairs are a very challenging topic at times, especially because in IIT do not have a habit of newspaper reading, and suddenly when we enter into civil services, then newspaper reading may be challenging because we are not able to understand the background of topics. At that time, what I did, I used to refer to online videos. There are some online coaching that will put up good online videos, daily current affair analysis videos. So these kind of resources helps us in building a background to our preparation, and we actually save on our time if we use such resources. We have limited time, and we have to produce maximum output in limited time. So for that, whatever resources we can make use of, we should do this. We should do that.
Another thing that we're hearing a lot these days is the question whether we should go to Delhi or not, or abhi COVID time mein, how do we do that? Because everything is shut down. So most of the coaching material classes have their online classes. So you don't necessarily need to be physically present in Delhi or in that area. Don't necessarily need to leave the comfort of your home and go to an unknown place, settle in the new environment, and then take the guidance. Most of it is available online. Even sometimes nowadays you can find one-on-one mentorship guidance available online. So you should try to explore more before trying to join a coaching institute.
So it was very exhaustively put by both of you. Going forward, Ashima, civil services examination has a vast syllabus and revision plays a very important role. Could you please tell us how did you go about your revision? What was your routine like while preparing?
Okay, so I had a very fixed schedule for all the time I've prepared. I think having a fixed schedule and consistent preparation is very important for this examination. Talking about my schedule, I used to have targets, monthly targets, weekly targets, and daily targets. I used to divide my day into three parts: the morning part, the afternoon, and after evening. So I had three parts, and I had a fixed goal for every day. So I used to match them up, and I think this way we can maximize our effort. Otherwise, we wake up in the morning, and then we don't have any goal in front of us, and that makes us waste a lot of time. If we know that by the evening we have to complete this much course, this much part of the syllabus, then we are more motivated to do that, and we in fact start our day a little earlier. Also, talking about other things like my hobbies, I have actually tried to pursue some of my hobbies, not regularly, but whenever it was possible. I am very much interested in social service. I was also a part of Abhyasika, and it started from there in IIT Bombay. But going forward, I started teaching around my house. Around my house, there was a girls' shelter home. I used to go there and teach. I used to call the girls at my home. So I used to do such kind of things. I used to play basketball. Sometimes it was not possible for me to do it daily, but such kind of things also adds value to your schedule and makes you refreshed. Current affairs now, talking about the third part, which is current affairs. Current affairs is very important to do daily. You can select one newspaper. I would suggest you can go for Indian Express or the Hindu. Both of them are very good. Select one of them and just stick to it and try reading it every day. It is very important to be consistent with newspaper reading every day. So this was about my schedule. Simi, you may add.
I think Ashima ma'am rightly put it that a routine and a schedule is very important, because otherwise you don't know where you're heading towards. So, like Ashima ma'am, I used to set daily targets. Sometimes my preparation used to go a little disturbed when I used to set like mock tests. So whenever I used to give mock tests, I was very focused on trying to finish the revision for that subject. So sometimes my schedule might get disturbed because of that, but more or less I try to maintain a consistent schedule. Some other challenges that I faced during the preparation was, like, that I prepared most of my time at the institute. So we have classes, we have other labs that we have to take care of. So I try to maximize the efforts. I try to find out as much time as possible even between the classes. So sometimes we'll get like a half an hour break. So I use the time very creatively. I used to read the newspaper on the e mode on my mobile. So I could just sit anywhere in a corner and read the newspaper. So you have to be creative in finding time to prepare for the exam. Another thing, in my last semester, because as we know, that is like a period when a lot of your friends have gotten into placements, they have got like college, abroad invitations. So it's a very festive mood, it's a very celebratory mood, and mostly a chill mood. So that is something that I try to avoid as much as possible. I had a very small group of friends, and I had very fixed schedule for studies. So if a particular time in the evening was devoted to my preparation, I will not have any other distraction at that time. And that becomes very important either when you're preparing in job or in college, or any other distraction that you might have in your life. So that kind of consistency is important. Coming to revision, some things that I was always trying to do was, I tried to do the hard work earlier so that my revision becomes easier. So I try to collate the knowledge as much as possible. I try to limit it. Try to bring it to one particular location so that my revision material is limited. Another thing I tried to do was to reduce the time with each and every revision. So if I take 6 hours for a particular revision at this time, the next time I will take it 3 hours. The next time it will be a half hour. So I always try to reduce time, and you can do this by highlighting the most important things or underlining the most important stuff. So that is something that should be done. Also use your mock tests very creatively and in a very well scheduled manner, so that your revision happens with them as well. Don't just go like with an empty slate to the exams, to the mock tests, because they can help you later on in the exam. So coming to the current affairs, I used to read the e-paper in a e-mode. What that helped me do was, I could filter out all the unnecessary headings and just read the most important topics which are relevant to my syllabus. Another thing that helped me do was, I tried to filter out the unnecessary stuff when I'm reading an editorial. So I will try to limit the time that I will require to read an editorial by giving it a very fast glance. And usually the bottom half of the editorial is relevant for a preparation, and that was where I focused on. And I also made my notes in the e mode, which helped me to revise on the go. So that was my strategy.
Okay, if I may add, I will just add quickly one point about revision. As Simi also pointed out briefly. So it is very important to have one place for one topic. Uh, what happens in civil services, for one topic there are 5 books that you will be asked to refer, and then during revision it is very difficult to go to 5 sources again. So if you can have one note for one topic, let's say in history we have some war, Battle of Plassey. Let's say we have that, and now we can read about it from 3 sources. But then during revision, we will just go to one source. So the hard work you can do before, as Simi said, the hard work will be to go to the 3 sources earlier and make notes the most important things on one page, so that in the end you can just refer to one page. And coming to e-notes versus manual, it is again individual choice. Some people are not at all comfortable with e-notes, so they can do it manually in one notebook. And so people who are comfortable online should go for online, because that helps in that is very convenient while traveling or using at multiple devices.
So to sum up, it is basically like you will have to plan in advance, execute your schedule to maximize your efforts, keep the hard work earlier, as early as possible, so that during revision you can just look at up and have a glance at it. So yeah, moving forward, a lot of people have confusion regarding the right time to start preparation. What is your advice to me for the students still in their undergraduate years aiming for civil services? should they side by side focus on study related to UPSC, or should they try to develop some other skills or explore some other things?
I think this is a very personal choice when you should start preparing, because the realization for different people come at different points in life. Like for myself, I can say that I realized it in my final year that this is what I want to do. But while Ashima ma'am realized it later when she was in a job. So I think this should come from, this is a very personal choice. And most importantly, this should come from within you. It should not be because your parents are pressurizing you or your friends want you to do it that you are preparing for this exam. Only then can you very seriously give a thought about it. Another thing that I advise all students who are considering UPSC is to rather than to simply dive into the preparation process, try to build your background, try to build your aptitude for it. And what you can do about it is try to read more non-fiction books. Like you can read books from Abhijit Banerjee, Amartya Sen, Guru Charan Das. What this helps you do is firstly help you understand better about India as a nation and its different aspects, and secondly it helps you later in your preparation process in terms of understanding. I for myself, I can speak for myself that like I said earlier, that I had a background of economics from 11th and 12th. I have a minor in humanities and social sciences, which have lots of courses with overlapping topics with the preparation. I have also been part of the policy boot camp and other such camps where I was exposed to a lot of practical experiences in this field. So this helped me fasten my preparation process later on. So I think rather than simply diving into the preparation, first try to build your aptitude about it. Coming to preparation in college, I think again this is a very personal choice, but I would request you all to explore all the different opportunities that this college has to offer. I think IIT Bombay, to sum up, has given me a lot of opportunities for a holistic development. And even while I had prepared in my college years, I did not miss out on the other stuff. I have participated in lots of activities which have helped me later on in building my personality. And even if you've heard about the interview, it's called the personality test. So rather than closing yourself up to the outside world, you should explore the activities. You may not necessarily participate in all of them, but you should try to explore your hobbies, try to build an aptitude for the exam, and then go into the preparation process.
Ashima, what are your opinions on the same, and how can one prepare while having a job or doing an PhD or maybe research or doing an MTech maybe?
All right. So coming to the first part of the question, which is how will one know that it is the right time to start the preparation. So the right time will come from within. You will know that now there is nothing else that bothers me so much than this exam. For me, the right time did not come in college, although I was aware about the exam, but I had a lot of other things which were taking up my mind space much more than this, and I thought that I'm not ready as of now. And I also had this idea that maybe the corporate life will be exciting for me. I should at least give it a try, because IIT Bombay can offer some of the best corporate jobs. But the right time will come from within. And if you feel that you are not prepared to give your 100% to this examination, 100% dedication and commitment, then one should not waste time, because otherwise you will just keep adding years to your preparation and nothing else. Talking about how to manage preparation with your job, I think Simi has already answered this question very well, because she has prepared along with her studies in IIT Bombay. I have some more points to add, which is you can always use online resources much more as compared to manual material, soft hard copies. So you can have things on your phone, and whenever you are traveling on the go in between breaks, you can use the time to for yourself. It also requires prioritizing things at work. So there may be 5 things that involve you at work. So just try to limit that so that you can find maximum time for your preparation. And I think Simi has answered this question already. So there's not much I can say.
One thing that I would like to add while preparing in college or even in a job or otherwise is time management. I think what we do is we participate in activities. If I tell you about my seventh semester, in the month of May and June, I was in Japan doing my internship at Sysmex. In the month of August, I had the opportunity to go to US from Kargil, from for the Kargil Global Scholarship. I was the captain of my Kho team for Udghosh at IIT Kanpur. I even had the opportunity to go to Jhabua uh, uh, in the month of October from the group for rural activities. So I did all these activities, but side by side, I was developing my background. I was reading newspapers. I was being committed to what I had decided my path on. So what this requires is a very important aspect that a lot of people miss out in college, that is time management. You participate in activities, but you only devote a very limited time to that activity. You cannot go for an activity and spend the entire night about it. And that is something I made sure in my final year, the entire final year. And that helped me in the entire process. So this is something I would request all of you to do, no matter which field you choose, whatever activities that you will decide, whatever field that you choose to go on further in life, time management will be a very important skill to develop.
It was a really insightful answer from both of you. Ashima, how did your life and experiences at IIT help you while serving? What were the most important takeaways from the institute?
Life at IIT has always given me so much, not only as a civil servant, even before that when I was preparing. Especially, there are few, three, four things which I think I would like to highlight here. Being with the basketball team, playing a sport together with the team, a team sport, taught me so many things. I remember the rigorous morning basketball trainings that we used to have at 4:30 a.m. in the morning before inter-IIT, and that added so much value to the rigorous work that we have to put in the preparation. Second will be my overall coordinator tenure in the students technical activities body. It taught me so much. I had a team of 13 managers and many conveners, and managing this team, we had so many issues in the team at times. Managing events, we failed at some events, we succeeded at some events. All these small things were actually messages, in form of messages to me, what will work, what will not work, how to go about working and executing things. So the when we actually created the tinkerers lab, that took us a lot of effort. We created a pilot project in January before my graduation, and then final one in March. And both of these phases involved coordinating with so many people. And finally, when we established the Tinkerers Lab, that was such a great feeling. It added to the confidence of my confidence and my team's confidence, and that helped me in my preparation. Um, I think that is it from my side about IIT Bombay.
And what were your key learnings from the college activities, Simi, you were involved in? Did any course offered by the institute help in your preparation?
So I think IIT Bombay could have been the best college that I could have opted for the 5 years ago. There were lots of questions that were asked then कि CS क्यों नहीं ले रहे दूसरे किसी college में. I was very clear that IIT Bombay is the place that I want to be, and I have never regretted that decision. It has given me so many memories, so many friends, and so many lessons for life that I think I'll cherish all throughout. I've been involved in a lot of activities. So right from Freshiza to SDL to PAF to AIDS, I have participated in them. I did a solo performance at ICFA night. So these are activities where you stayed up the entire night. You put in so much effort to come up with such a beautiful, successful like performance. So those were the nights, those were the efforts that I will cherish all throughout my life. I have been associated with Abhyashika and the group for rural activities. The Kho people know me very well because I think we've spent so many rigorous mornings and evenings together. So these are some of the activities that I've been involved in, and forever cherish in my life. I also had a minor in humanities and social sciences. So there I took up a lot of courses in sociology, psychology, behavioral management, etc. which have added to my personality and my knowledge. Some of the key takeaways that I had was firstly time management. Throughout the year, we are engaged in so many different activities, and you have like an assignment the next day, and then you have the like the AIDS practice going on, and then you have another other commitments going on. You have a project, you have like the research projects going on. So the time management is something that I truly learned only after I came to college. क्योंकि पहले तो everyone is preparing for JE, so most of our time is consumed there. So this time management aspect is something I learned beautifully at IIT Bombay. Another thing I realized was I had to chart my own course. So we have so many different personalities in the college. They have all of them have their different journeys, but they have all their different journeys, and they learn different things from the same institute. Some pursue a career in, let's say, the corporate sector. The others go for research, and I chose UPSC. So we all have our different courses. We all charter our own course, and that is something that will come from exploring the different activities, the different avenues that IIT Bombay had to offer for me. So that is what I took away from this institute.
I'll add something here. It's actually very important. IIT में जब हम थे, I remember last minute panic crisis situation. जब कल एग्जाम है और आज रात तक कोई preparation start नहीं हुई है, but still we are able to study overnight and get a 9 or a 10 in the course. और इस तरह का जब हम crisis management करते हैं, तो जब सिविल सर्विस की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं या फील्ड में हैं और कभी बहुत पैनिक हो जाता है कि बहुत सारा काम है, कम टाइम में करना है, I always go back to my time at IIT Bombay कि तब भी कर लिया था, तो अब definitely we can do it again. So crisis management is also something we learn at IIT Bombay. Each one of us manages so much in such a little time.
Totally agree to that. So one of the most crucial thing in the preparation is deciding your optional subject. What is your advice on how to decide for optional, Ashima?
Right. So selecting a good optional subject is a very important decision for any aspirant. Now there are some myths about the optional subject, that one should select optional subject which is more scoring, or which is maybe has less syllabus. Such kind of things should be secondary, or should take a back seat. The most important criteria, in my opinion, has to be interest. An optional subject is something that you will study for 2 years. Minimum 2 years, 1 year of preparation, and even the exam process is 1 year long. So you will study that subject for minimum 2 years. So now, are you interested? Are you really interested in studying one subject for 2 years consistently, going deep into it? If the answer is yes, then please go for it. Otherwise, you should think about other options. Also, in general studies, what happens that even with superficial knowledge, we can crack the exam and we can get good marks. But with in optional, it is not the same way. We have to go in depth into optional. So what I did a master's in anthropology. My optional was anthropology. I also joined a distance learning course in anthropology, and I completed my master's in 2 years with my preparation. So that masters really helped me in going in depth into the syllabus, offered me some good books, and I also scored the second highest marks in my optional. And I will give the credit to the master's program because it helped me go in depth. Otherwise, we generally tend to have a very broad view, broad idea about the subjects. So the approach to select optional subjects should be very logical and mathematical, and which will come very easily to all of us. What we can do is, firstly, you can look at all the optional subjects and then just see intuitively, considering your background, what are the 5-6 subjects that you think you will be comfortable with. Having made the list of 5-6 subjects based on secondary sources, now you can deep dive into each one of them and select the final 2 or 3. So in my case, the final 2 subjects were geography and anthropology. When I started my preparation before prelims, I had only 7 months, 7 to 8 months remaining. And in that time, I did not think that geography will be a feasible option for me because it has a huge syllabus. And also I wanted to learn a new subject. Anthropology was a completely new subject for me. And I thought learning a new subject will add some value to my life and some experience to my life. So I opted for anthropology. So similarly, have a very logical and mathematical approach to selecting an optional, and interest will be the primary criteria in my opinion.
And how did you choose your optional, Simi? Simi, you are on mute.
Hello. I think Ashima ma'am has put that very correctly. The first thing and the most important thing should be the interest. And how you can see that is by seeing the syllabus and the previous year questions. Also, I would suggest with that you can see some of the toppers' answer copies to sort of gauge an understanding of the kind of expectations in terms of answer writing that optional has from you. Another thing that I did was I was confused between chemistry and political science and international relations as an optional. So I was trying to explore which might be better, and I found out that there was a senior who had switched his optional from chemistry to PSIR in his second attempt. So I just randomly pinged him on Facebook, not expecting an answer. But trust me, the UPSC toppers do reply to your messages. It might be a little delayed, but they do reply. So he replied to me and he very patiently explained to me why he had gone for political science in his second attempt. And I think that sort of cleared a lot of my doubts regarding the two optionals. And that is how I became very sure that political science was the optional for me. Another thing that helped me, I think, most a criteria that I considered was the overlap that PSIR has with the general studies papers. With GS2, you have like almost 80% of overlap. GS1 society section or even the essays and the quotes in the ethics paper are beautifully covered in the PSIR optional. But a downside to this for a lot of students can be that this is a dynamic subject. So you have to be updated with current affairs daily and you have to keep on adding to your knowledge. So for me, this was a plus point because I always enjoyed reading new material and this also helped me with my current affairs preparation. But you have to play on your strengths and your interests to come up with a decision as to which optional you will choose.
One pertinent question that comes here is choosing engineering subject versus choosing humanities subject. This question is much more relevant because we are talking with students having a background in engineering. So this question, the answer to this question is again very personal. If you feel that you have your strength in engineering subject, then definitely you should go for it. It will help you save a lot of time because you have already almost covered the entire syllabus of the engineering subject. Then why should you spend time on reading another subject which is completely new to you? So in my case, civil engineering was the one of the options that I had in 5 to 6 options that I selected, but I did not select it because I had already studied it, and I really wanted to learn something new, and this was the reason that I went for anthropology. Also, I was not very much comfortable with civil engineering, and I did not want to go in a lot of depth because I felt that in the future, humanities subject will help me as a civil servant. So this was my reason, but you can have your own reason to decide between an engineering versus a non-engineering subject.
So it is all, yeah, ma'am.
Like Ashima ma'am said, that in engineering subjects, one benefit that you will have, like for example, in optionals like maths, you can score very high if you are able to do it correctly. But in arts optionals, there's a lot of subjectivity involved, and your flair for answer writing can play a major role. So you should also consider that and your strengths in terms of the answer writing and the way you present the way your thought processes to choose the optional. The reason why I did not go for electrical engineering as an optional was in the electrical engineering that we study in 4 years at IIT Bombay, we leave out a lot of electrical engineering part, but our focus is on electronics. But if you see the syllabus, you have one full paper on electrical engineering. So if you are comfortable with that section and you think you can go in depth in that and prepare that for the next coming years for UPSC, you should definitely go for it.
So it is all about exploring. And if you can't choose the correct one for you, try eliminating the options and you'll find one. So, Ashima ma'am, there are many people from engineering background who aspire to clear UPSC CSE exam. So, what do you think are its advantages or disadvantages?
I think that having engineering students in the civil services has a lot of meaning. It adds a lot of value. While in the field as an officer, we come across so many tenders, so many civil works, so many electrical other works. We come across factories, across applications, and while dealing with them, if we have an engineering background, that definitely adds to our comfort level in the field. Also, I feel that engineers can actually do miracles. They engineers can have the capability to create miracles in the times of crisis. They know how to work in the shortest time possible, and using these skills we can add a lot of value in the field. We say that People say that engineers can do better work as engineers, as core engineers, but I think otherwise, because the education system in India has made us to become one specific set of person, but it is not so. Actually, we can become multiple set of we can have multiple roles. Being an engineer, why can't we become an administrator? So I feel that engineers can make very good administrators. Coming to some advantages from the field, some examples. Let me tell you that while working as the developmental officer in one of the talukas, I selected one village, and we, along with the technical engineer present, we created a soak pit design. Now, soak pit is something that can absorb wastewater very quickly, and it has a lot of benefits even in recharging groundwater. So now we created a design of soak pit, a very low cost design, and we implemented it in the entire village. And in 1 month, we were able to create about a 130 soak pits in a village, very low cost. And also, it completely turned around the village. All the wastewater was now going into the ground, which was otherwise spilled here and there and creating problems, diseases. So all these things and the comfort zone, it actually came from the engineering background. Coming to a second example, let me give you a second example. I was once asked by my district collector to design a question paper of a government examination. So the question papers are set by a committee, and I was asked to set the question paper, and I was only given about 24 hours to do that. And the question paper had to be designed in Marathi. And I was I was clearly told that I do not have to take help from anybody at all. What so happens. So now in this situation, it was sort of a crisis situation. I again went back to my college days when we used to do so much overnight. So I thought I at least have 24 hours in my mind, and I learned Marathi typing immediately in 1-2 hours. I designed the question paper. It had 4 sections. I purchased book from the market, and all of this to the printing of the question papers and giving it to the examination center was done by me. I was given a team in the very end while we were delivering the papers and printing them. Before that, I was not given a team. And such kind of things, I really think that I was able to do only because of having faced crisis situation, overnight crisis situation at IIT Bombay. So engineers have a lot to do in the field, and it is one should not constrain themselves to one role that we have. We can do much more in the future.
Any further points you would like to add, Simi?
I think a prime reason why a lot of engineers are now coming into UPSC is probably because there are a lot more engineers giving this exam. Earlier, they probably used to be more art students giving this exam, but coming to I think the benefits out of engineering is, firstly, it gives you a very analytical mind. So whenever you are seeing a question, you will approach it. You will have a greater focus on understanding the problem and coming up with a solution. That I think that mindset is very beautifully developed from engineering. Also, one more thing that we learn as engineers is how to, jugaad stuff and do the smart work. Like even if you have such a huge preparation, you have so many different topics, how to कैसे वो short में निपटाना है किसी topic को, वो चीज engineering से बहुत अच्छे से आ जाती है. So I think these are two advantages that I see from an engineer. What disadvantages we might face is, firstly, that we might lose touch with the art subjects, and like history, geography, society, ये सब बहुत important topics हो जाते हैं from GS perspective. So you will have to go back to these subjects, and it might take longer for you. But because we have that analytical mind, I think it comes much more easily to us. Another disadvantage that we might have is probably from answer writing perspective. क्योंकि यहाँ पे we are just given a problem and we try to come up with a solution. We don't focus too much on the presentation aspect or like how detailed or how broad the aspect should be. We just are given a problem and we come up with a solution. But when you're writing answers for the exam, you have to focus a lot on your presentation. But again, I think that is something which we can develop very easily. So engineering as a degree would be very beneficial going forward. And I think we should not just limit ourselves to preparation. Like Ashima ma'am said, when you go into the field, you have a lot of advantages, especially since today we need a technocrat more than ever. Um if you look at any of the works that are being done in the field, a lot of digitization is taking place. A lot of technical stuff is happening. A lot of things which were earlier considered very too much focused on the societal aspects, etc., are being overlapped with the technological developments that are taking place. I think here the engineers have a clear-cut advantage.
Amazingly explained by both of you. It takes a heart of gold and nerves of steel to dedicate one's entire life to the cause of nation's well-being. Ashima, there were a lot of ups and downs in your journey. Did you have some second thoughts while preparing? Ma'am, you are on mute.
Okay, thank you. Yes, you have pointed it out rightly that I had a lot of ups and downs. My journey was not very rosy. But what motivated me throughout was my dream of becoming an IAS officer. During my ups and downs, the family support helped me a lot. I used to in a company of very positive people. In my home, I used to make sure that everybody is motivating. Even your friends should be motivating. At times, what happens that नेबर्स आएंगे या कोई रिलेटिव्स आएंगे, वो बोलेंगे कि तुमसे नहीं होगा. ये सब चीज सबके साथ होती है, चाहे आप आईआईटी बॉम्बे से हो या किसी भी बड़े कॉलेज से हो. कभी ना कभी तो ऐसा होगा कि कोई ना कोई आपको आके बोल सकता है आप तुमसे नहीं होगा, एग्जाम बहुत टफ है, आईआईटी हो गया तो क्या हुआ. सो जस्ट स्टे अवे फ्रॉम एनी नेगेटिव कंपनी. कीप बिलीविंग इन योरसेल्फ. I always have believed very strongly that if you believe in yourself that I can clear this exam, and you know it in your heart that if I give my 100%, there is nothing that can stop me from cracking this exam, because it is no rocket science. It is just we have to very in a logical way, we have to make a plan and we have to execute it, and that's it. If we are able to do it, that we will crack the exam surely. I do not know anybody who is not able to crack exam. Yes, it is possible that you may not crack it in the first attempt, because apart from hard work, apart from smart work, dedication, etc., a lot of things, a lot of blessings are required to crack this exam. There are many people who work hard, but it takes them a lot of time, a lot more time to crack it. So it may take you time, but you will definitely crack it. Just go with that belief and attempt this exam, and there is nothing that can stop you. The only reason, the only thing which is mandatory is your interest, your motivation. If you are motivated enough to crack it, and you don't want anything else, you will definitely crack it.
So similarly, Simi, आपकी भी जर्नी में काफी highs and lows रहे होंगे. So how did you overcome this and kept yourself motivated throughout your entire journey?
I think there were several lows during my journey. क्योंकि अगर मैं शुरुआत से शुरू करूँ, so I was not sure I was going to give the 2019 attempt at all. I think it was the push given to me by my dad कि नहीं, इस बार तो बैठना ही है, no matter what happens. That kind of positivity and that kind of people you need around yourself to cross your own limits and reach towards the newer heights. I think sometimes we often underestimate ourselves. That time you need a lot of like your family support, such friends who are there for you and know in your they have faith in yourself. So though that kind of positive environment throughout the preparation journey is very important. Another low that I had was right after prelims. I felt like कि मेरा बहुत borderline case है, अब मैं इस बार के मेंस के लिए प्रिपेयर करूंगी तो क्या फायदा, अच्छा छोड़ देते हैं, we will prepare for the next year. And I think that got cleared in 2 days, that I am going to prepare for this attempt no matter what the outcome is. And that happened again because I had a very good friend and teachers who were there to tell me that no, this is not the right direction to go into. So you should have that another thing, जब मेरे को ऐसा फील होता था कि बहुत बहुत ज्यादा हो गया यार, इस एग्जाम में इतने सारे बच्चे हैं जिनका नॉलेज बेस इज टू मच हायर फ्रॉम मी एंड आई एम इन नो प्लेस टू compete with them. I sort of try to reduce my goals कि okay, UPSC clear करना is one thing, I will set a goal for tomorrow. If I am able to clear that goal, if and I truly believe कि अगर if for a day you are giving all the effort that you've decided and you're clearing the target set for that day, you exhaust yourself to that extent कि then you're not thinking about the big mountain, then you're thinking about the smaller hills that you have to climb. And that sort of helped me, soften the hardships that I was facing. Another thing I think is very important during this time is मतलब जैसे इस time पे especially right when this is the placement season and post that, if you go into social media you will have lots of your friends seeing कि यार इतना बड़ा package मिल गया या ऐसी company मिल गई या फिर वो college हो गया. I think that kind of negativity and that kind of news is something you should try to avoid. I was not off the social media. I had my Facebook on, but I had filled my feed with all that was relevant for my preparation. So try to reduce this kind of these kinds of things which are not really going to matter for your preparation. So focus just on your preparation. Focus on your tomorrow's targets, not on the big target, not on the mains or the interview, but for the next mock test probably. And if you do well in that those small successes that you will gain will help you in the longer run.
It was really an insightful session. So this was all from my side. I will be handing over to Vivetsa to carry forward the session and have the Q&A with you guys.
So thank you so much for these insightful answers. So now we have some of the most common answers that we have received from the students. So it would be great if you could please answer this. The first one is for you, Simi. A lot of students want your suggestions on how to develop writing skills. Did you practice any answer and essay writings while in college? And what do you think is the correct approach towards this?
Right. So I think first thing that I did, because I had very limited time, few things that I did was, firstly I saw the toppers answer copies and the toppers videos. I still remember the best video that I saw was of Ashima ma'am that she had delivered, I think, on a particular platform online. So that was completely free. I wrote whatever I could understand from that video and tried to implement that in my answers as much as possible. Another thing that I did was try and prepare my notes according to the exam. So I had a set of introductions and conclusions prepared for some of the very common topics. Like for example, if the question is of agriculture, I would have a conclusion like, if you apply these, if we implement these things, then we can achieve the goal of doubling farmers' income by 2022. That becomes very catchy and that becomes unique. Another thing that I tried to do was to try and gather as many case studies and examples as possible. So be it like the challenges or the solutions part, I used to explicitly mention these case studies, which will be unique to you because you have collated them. Otherwise, whatever things that you will be putting in your answers will be pretty much common to all. One more thing that I tried to do was explore with the writing styles. So, for example, you can probably write it in point-wise manner, or otherwise you can subdivide them into headings. Like, for example, the economic aspect, the political aspect, the technological aspect, etc. One more thing I think it's very important, especially from general studies answers point of view, is to interlink your knowledge. So we tend to think in silos, and when we are writing the answer, that silo nature of our knowledge is reflected. But we need to break beyond that and try to put in the answers from a multiple dimensional format. So if a question, for example, this year was from the Indian space station and its relevance for India, and this was a science and tech question, so I clearly mentioned about the research and the developmental aspects, but I also brought in the strategic aspect that China is also trying to build a space station and hence the benefit for us. Then I also brought in the international relations aspect of collaborating with NASA or the JIXA, which is the Japanese space agency. So these kind of interlinking of knowledge is very important.
So for answer writing, as Simi said, I think Simi, you were talking about the Vision IAS video because
Yes, ma'am.
I covered the detailed answer writing strategy in that video. In that video, I have explained about the essay and other answer writing things. So if one is interested, you can see there in detail because we have limited time right now about answer writing. But there are other toppers video, and Simi will soon make her own video, so you can refer to that. It is always good to listen to a lot of people before deciding your own strategy.
Thank you so much, both of you, for that very elaborative answer. The next one is for you, Ashima. A lot of students wanted to ask you about how the difference in approach comes when it comes to the preparation of prelims and of mains, and what should be the strategy to handle both of these simultaneously while in the initial stage of preparation itself.
Okay, so often it is said that preparation for in civil services examination UPSC happens for main. The mains examination is broader when it comes to the syllabus. It is broader. It encompasses a lot more aspects than prelims. The difference in the two will be both of them are very different, and it is a different ball game to appear in the two exams. When it comes to prelims, one has to be very good with facts, data. It involves much more rote learning as compared to mains. So what I suggest that when you are appearing for prelims, just 2 months before the prelims examination, start focusing entirely 100% on prelims and leave all other things optional mains on one side aside. Just focus on prelims 2.5 months before the exam. Otherwise, all the other time that you have in the preparation, focus on your mains answer writing, mains preparation, because it is much more broad. You have your optional subject which will require a lot of time. You have your general studies 4 papers and essay writing. All of this will require time, and once you are good with analysis and understanding the various topics that are there in the mains paper, you will automatically become good in the prelims in the analysis part. So my opinion for your approach should be that you go for mains, prepare for mains as much as you can, and just 2 months, 2.5 months before the prelims, start working on your prelims. For this, when you appear for prelims, you have to give a lot of tests. uh, I remember for every prelims that I appeared in, I have given at least 30 exams, 30 test papers before the exam. And after giving the test paper, it is also important to analyze the test paper. So I want to mention here that my father says that, for achieving something, you have to be interested and committed, and then you repeat it. So I used to give these exams continuously. So it also kept me motivated. Every day I knew that I have to prepare for the next exam, the next exam, next exam. Similarly, for mains, you have to give a lot of exams, and these exams should start as soon as possible. Once you are comfortable with answer writing, once you have done with your basic NCRT, basic books, you can start with your mains answer writing. But again, the detailed things you can refer to other videos which are there on the net.
Thank you so much for that answer. I hope it proves beneficial for most of the students. Simi, is there anything that you'd like to add to this?
I think just one or two points, since prelims is close by, is that I would like to request all of the students to, focus on reading the previous year questions and especially seeing the official answer keys. What happens is there are lots of different answer keys available in the market, but you need to understand the UPSC thought process, which is ultimately going to matter. So that is something you can invest time now, and the tests definitely have to be given. With the test, when you're analyzing the test, try to understand that when a question has gone wrong, how could you have solved that question with your existing knowledge base, even if you did not know about one or two points. So these are few pointers about the prelims exam.
Okay, so that was indeed very informative. Next question to you, Simi, is that how important it is to have a mentor's guidance during the preparation, and how do you actually decide by yourself whether you're on the right track or not, or what should be the next step that you take?
I think a mentor, the decision to have a mentor is a personal decision. It depends upon a lot of internal as well as external factors, but you can take a lot of guidance, especially from your seniors. So I took a lot of guidance from my seniors as well as the people who were present in my coaching institutes or the teachers present there. But ultimately, you have to be the captain of your own ship. You have to decide what works for you and what does not. So I think there's a quote that I truly believe in, which is be brutally honest with yourself. You have to be your biggest critique and realize that whatever efforts that you're putting in, is that enough or is that in the right direction? Some pointers that can help you in this journey, firstly, can be the mock tests, because the feedback that you get on your mock test will surely tell you whether you are in the right direction or not, or what aspects you need to work more on. Another thing is comparing with the topper's answer copies. I think I used to do that a lot during my preparation. I used to try and think about an answer from my perspective or write that down and then compare it with a person who's already qualified the exam. So, because they have already qualified, it sort of gives you a direction that what they did has worked and it probably might work for you. So, these are some of the pointers.
Very well said, Simi. Ashima, would you like to add some points to this?
I feel that having a mentor is very useful. It actually helps a lot while preparing. There are so many times when we are not sure which way to go, what to study, what not to study. We at times feel depressed, and at that time, having somebody who has done preparation or who has cleared the exam really adds to our confidence. We always know that there is somebody who will help us. And for the students of IIT Bombay, definitely you can. There are so many alumnus who have cleared the examination. You can stay connected to them. They will help you out surely in your preparation. For me, I remember in my final year, I used to talk to Smith. Smith is a senior in IPS, in Indian Police Services. He cleared the examination immediately after graduation, and I used to stay in his touch throughout. And there are a lot of other seniors from IIT Bombay who have helped me in my preparation. And I feel that having a mentor adds value to your preparation.
Thank you so much for that advice, Ashima. So, my next question to you would be that if there's somebody who is unable to clear the exam for, let's say, 2 or 3 attempts, so what should be the strategy of such an aspirant to proceed for the further attempts?
I think that such a person should take a look at the preparation, and firstly, rather than preparing, change in strategy is required. So I will give you my example. In my second attempt, I cleared the examination and got into IRS. Now I knew that I am doing good enough, but to get a top rank, what should be the strategy? So I firstly worked on my strategy. I met a lot of people who have cleared the examination and who have scored high marks in different subjects. And I let me tell you that these conversations, these interactions helped me so much. So I met a person who who got a very good score in the essay subject. So when I met this person, we met in a restaurant in Delhi, I remember, and that person tells me that, Ashima, I used to prepare my introductions and conclusions beforehand, and I have referred to so and so copy, and I actually got good marks. So this was revealing. I did not think before that such an approach is also possible, and only after that interaction I also decided that even I can do such things, and such small value additions I did in every subject, and which actually helped me in um, taking my increasing my marks significantly in my final attempt when I got the 12th rank. So at times it is only a problem in our strategy and not in our effort, which is creating a problem. So once we have a good strategy matched with efforts, then nothing can stop us. So this person, if he has not cleared even in 3 attempts, either there is a problem in your dedication or your work or your strategy. So please take a relook at both of them and then only appear for the next attempt. Otherwise, it will only add to the demotivation.
Thank you so much for that answer, Ashima. I really hope it proves helpful. So, Simi, the next question to you is that do you believe that there's a success mantra for cracking this exam? Is there a path, a fixed path that can be followed in order to maximize the chances of being successful in this exam?
I think this is an individual. This is a journey which is different for every person. So there cannot be a single path that everyone takes. Everyone has to charter their own path. But a quote, like I said earlier, that I truly believe in is to be brutally honest with yourself. A lot of times we are not truly analyzing where we are going wrong. We're simply moving on, and that should not be the case. You should be ready to course correct. You should be ready to put in more efforts. Be your biggest critique and find out what is working for you and what is not working for you. There cannot be any other person's strategy that you can blindly follow and clear the exam. Based on your requirements, your conditions, your strengths, and your weaknesses, you have to come up with your own strategy to clear the exam.
Thank you so much, Simi, for that insightful answer. As we inch towards the end of the session, is there anything else that you would like to say to the students? Any last words of advice, Ashima?
Okay, so coming to the last words of advice, there is one saying जो मुझे बहुत इंस्पायर करती है और मुझे उसका जिस्ट याद है. जिस्ट ये है कि चींटी जब दीवार चढ़ती है तो वो गिरती है, फिर चढ़ती है, फिर कोशिश करती है, फिर गिरती है, पर उसका हौसला कभी कम नहीं होता. तो उसी तरह से जस्ट रिमेंबर दैट ऑल ऑफ यू आर वाचिंग दिस वीडियो. फर्स्टली, do not blindly go after any successful person. First, see for yourself if you really need it. Civil services is one of the good career options, but there are many more there existing for you. That entirely depends on your choices. My husband is working in a corporate firm. He's working with McKinsey, and I feel that for him, that career is the most suitable. That suits his personality. For me, civil services is the most suitable because it gives me maximum satisfaction. So whatever career path you want to choose will depend on your personality on and what satisfies you. What do you want out of this life? And if you think that civil services is the path that you want to take, then after that there is no turning back. Do not look back. Then the grass is nowhere greener. The grass is the greenest in civil services, and you will find it the most satisfying. So once you decide that you want to go for it, believe in yourself, give your 100% effort plus smart works and a good strategy. And let me tell you, there is nothing that can stop you. It is not a rocket science. I have cleared it. Simi has cleared it. So many other our friends have cleared it. I have in my academy, I have seen people who have cleared it coming from a very poor background. A person in my batch has cleared this exam who has studied on the railway station. Now, if people with such resources and such condition can clear this exam, then why can't we? We have studied in one of the best colleges that exist in India, and we have such great exposure. So definitely there is nothing that can stop us except we ourselves. So remember that you believe in yourself, and if you really want to do it, you will do it. There is nothing that can stop you. That's it. Thank you. All the best to everybody.
Those were some really valuable words, Ashima. So, what will be your last piece of advice to the students, Simi?
I think Ashima ma'am has covered it very well. Another thing that the only thing that I can add to it, and this may sound very cliche, is to have that perseverance and commitment. This is not a one night job. This is something that has to be, this is something that you have to work hard for a very long time. This is a 1 year full preparation and the exams, and then whatever extra time that you give for the preparation. And you may not clear it in the first go, but the perseverance and the commitment should not be reduced at any stage. You should go with a very positive attitude, and you should not focus on what others have or others don't have, but just focus on what you have and how you can clear it. So that should be your commitment. And rather than focusing on what the end goal is, try to enjoy the journey as well when you're moving forward, even during the preparation time, because you learn a lot during these years as well. And as you go ahead, you will apply that you will learn and you will apply that in the field that you get. So that's it. Just enjoy the journey, and just stay committed to the preparation. All the best to everyone.
Those were really inspirational words, Simi. And with this, we would like to conclude the session. Thank you so much, Simi and Ashima, for taking out the time and addressing the students' questions. Also, I would like to thank our lovely audience for being so enthusiastic and energetic during the talk. Thank you so much, and good luck for the future.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting.
Thank you and all the best to everybody. And if you really want to talk to us anytime, you can take our email IDs. My email ID is ashima.mittal@gmail.com. Also, I have made some videos after my selection that was like 2-3 years back. So if you want, you can refer to my strategy there because the time was really short and I could not talk about a lot of aspects. And I'm actually not in touch right now with the strategy that much. So if you want, you can refer to them. All the best.
So my email ID is simi1997 Karan KARAN @gmail.com. I'll mostly be making a blog about my preparation. So if you want to know more about it, you can see that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.